We stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debated warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. We heard. Will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spartan HU Network. Of course, you know who I am. I'm Ghost Sparta, aka Peter. This is Operation. Oh, wrong show. This is Spartan Show. I'm having a brain fart. The Spartan Arena. My bad, guys. But I can't do this by myself. I have to bring the most annoying, most grumpiest little thing you ever seen in your life. Of course, I'm talking about baby Groot.
Bear paw.
Give it up, man. Just give it up.
Bear paw.
David, give it up.
Is bear paw.
Just give it up. You're never gonna be called Bear Paul. You're never gonna call it
I'm
little.
I'm sorry. Other people call me bear paw, except you.
I'm never
Other
calling you.
people understand. African, there's no Groot in Africans.
So I'm telling you right now, when I make your shirt, I already put your name on it, calling yourself.
Don't worry,
Hang on,
I'll get my customer with have bear paw with a black
hang on. Let me
African
finish.
bear,
Let me
all
finish.
black, with red scar on its face.
Can I finish? Can I
Go
finish?
ahead.
When is he gonna say? Is he gonna say Black David, aka Little Groot, aka Sperm Groot?
Trust me, I'll get it customized. It's easy. This is New York City.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have time for Comic Con. Be walking around with that damn thing.
It's June, right?
I'll kill the day of. Remember
Don't worry, I will get mine ready before that time.
that. So, David, you go to the gym once in a while, right?
Whenever I can.
All right. What is one thing we always see in the gym?
We see weight, we see dumbbell, we see machines, and we see certain group of female who dress somewhat inappropriate just for the sake of distraction, which is common. It's been going on for more than a decade right now.
Okay. Let me hear your feedback
Feedback from
on
someone
that.
who could be a former gym rat. Normally, when I go to gym, the gym is like my sanctuary, my place to where I can unleash, release, and burn out what the huge amount of negative energy that I've built up over time.
Mm-hmm.
Would allow me to convert that negative energy to positive energy. I mean, I can use it for my workout, get my workout on, get my burn on, do whatever I can. Now, when you're in that zone and you're working out, certain females who are not really there for that are there for see who or how many necks they can break. They're gonna wear certain gym outfit. Perfect example. You call it leotard, you call it legging, you call it spandex, whatever you want to call it. Certain brands make it hard for anyone to see through. Other brands make it too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you on the bench, for perfect example. You're doing your bench. Before you can get up, homegirl is right in front of you, bending over. She's showcasing her cake and who knows what else she wants to showcase, which is a distraction, so to speak. Now everybody saying, "Oh, Chuchu wear short." Short for what? I remember back in the day when we used to wear short or to wear sweatpants or to wear appropriate attire to the gym. These days it's more toward to this is New York City. I can wear what I want to wear. Get used to it. It will be up in your face. And I hate to say this, as a bona fide old school beastly of a man. Men are lookers. We're going to look. Either you like it or you don't. I don't think you can go to any other society in this world today and wear such outfit and think that no man not going to look at you. If you think that way, then you must have ADHD.
All right. Hang on your thought. Hang on before you move on. Before you finish up, I'm gonna get this guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, welcome. And How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, gentlemen. What's going on?
All
You
right.
notice he got the ring at his background. You know what he got himself into.
Fight.
All right. Before Paul has his 2 cents, because I know Paul has a lot to say on this one. Finish your saying, David, before we move on to Paul.
So knowing that they wear these type of outfit on purpose for more than a decade now, and I thought they would way they can cover it up before they'll wear the leggings or the spandex or whatever you want to call it, and they wear some kind of big shirt over top just to cover certain area. Okay, that'll be appropriate. That's fine. They switch up to where they wear that first and wear some other. I don't know. It's a one piece on purpose. I don't know what they mean behind it. Like some people do it a little bit too much with their get up just to go to the gym. Then some have the one that the actual sports spandex, whereby they have the fitting for the pocket for their phone, whatever, which is
Feedback.
different.
On that.
I don't know if Lululemon, whatever you want to call it. They want to seem to be a little more appropriate, but depending on the design, then they have the top. Now, some gym have regulation based on the dress code. Depending on certain gyms, some enforce it. They're not playing around. Not gonna lie, you come up here, create a storm, thinking that you get away with it. They'll let you know, ma'am or sir, this is not appropriate. But most regular franchise gyms, they let things slide too much when women are dressing so inappropriate. It's almost too obvious. And here's how I know they're not really there for a workout. And I'm sure Mr. Paul Bennett will agree. If you're there to the gym to work out, you're there to work out and break into some sweat. I have noticed some of these females come in there, don't even try to break into a sweat at all. So I'm asking the question, what's the point you over here in the gym where everybody here busting their ass, trying to work on themselves, and you try not to get into no sweaty moment? Like the moment you see sweat about to come up, you want to stop. Like, then what's the point you being here then? Make it make sense. I've been noticing for a while, and I caught on to it for years. This is why I have my zone when I come to the gym. This is my sanctuary. I'll come get my workout. I'll come and get my thing on. I don't care if my arm is sore. I don't care if my back is sore. I don't care if my chest. I'm coming to get that burn, so I know I did something before I go home. Don't work out in front of me, bending over, advertising your business, or you turn around, you know you're heavily blessed on the top, and you wear all type of things to make it obvious, just to get attention. Like, really? I remember I did this back in Job Corps, and the RA allowed me to do this. In the weight room, I had a policy. If you're not here to work out, I'm going to kick you out. And I had a bad reputation
And
kicking
you
a bunch of.
get in more trouble for that, David. You know.
No, I didn't. I got at my witness. I did not get in trouble for that.
Mhm.
I kicked out a lot of women out of the weight room. Reason why? You will not know that there was an incident that took place. I was working out in my zone. Tell me why you have a bunch of girls dressed as if they're going to the nightclub will sit down and ask some of the guys to bounce their chest.
All right. All right. Before we get too far into that, we'll get to that in a second. Let's get Paul in here. I want his opinion on what he thinks about this.
All right. What specific question are you asking?
So I just want your open thoughts about dress code for women, how they dress at a gym. I know you are a very focused person, but you're a man. You know, your eyes wander sometimes. I know you have only eyes to your wife. I know that. I'm not saying that, but you might say like you might look at a woman like, "What's your clothes? What's going on with that picture?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know you've been to the gym, and there's some women in there like, I see more skin and less clothes. What's up with here?
hmm Well, it's not new. I mean,
No, I didn't say that.
honestly, I don't understand what the buzz is. I think, in actuality, if that's going to be so much of a distraction, I mean, one, it was almost a pleasure back, certainly in my dating days. it was a pleasure to go to the gym and see women wearing form-fitting or revealing clothing. So that was part of the thrill of going to the gym. But for those who are taking offense to it, I don't see what the buzz is. I mean, if you're there really about getting your workout in and about the goals you're trying to achieve or whatnot, then who cares what the woman's wearing? Obviously, I'm not saying that you should be able to wear anything you want. I certainly believe that there should be certain policies, when it comes to attire. But again, sometimes I think it gets ridiculous. There was a in fact, I was trying to send you the link for it, but there was actually a woman who was kicked out of Planet Fitness
Really?
for wearing a midriff. I mean, it wasn't like it was overly done. Whatever. I'm trying to find a picture now so I can see in the link for it. But I mean, I think people almost take it too far, and I don't know if that's coming from just someone being um, self-conscious about their body image, and just because she comes in and shows a little bit of abs or something like that, you get intimidated by that. So I think some of these gym policies, almost take it too far. Just like with Planet Fitness, some of them take it too far. Where again, the no grunt zone. Look, if you're working
Not
out with
just a joke.
serious weights, if you're doing, if you're picking up the 100-pound dumbbells, yeah, you might do a little groaning. You may drop the weights or whatever. So again, I think, um, you know, uh, gym culture got to a point where you were trying to make so many people comfortable, even those who weren't even trying to be about anything there. That I think it just I think it just went too far with the restrictions on things. I mean, if you're there to get yours on, who cares? But again, as far as the attire that women wear, this has been through. I sent you a link. Go back to the 70s and look at what women were wearing, and then go to the 80s. I would make the argument that what women are wearing on average now is actually more conservative than it was in the 80s. There was a movie that came out with Jamie Lee Curtis called Perfect. I think it was John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis back in the 80s. This was like doing a whole fitness craze, Jane Fonda craze. And the leotards, the thong leotards that they were wearing with the leggings in the in that movie or during that time, way more radical than what I would see just the average person going to like a, name your gym, Planet
Retro.
Fitness or Retro 24-hour gym or whatever. I mean, I don't see women on en masse just going there half naked. I just don't see that. And for the couple who do, yeah, they might be social media influencers or something like that. They're doing it for the gram. They're doing it for their OnlyFans or whatever that is. Also, as you said, we did go to that gym, and I have spent a bit of time in physical culture. And I can tell you, and you got all kinds here. You got the bodybuilding women who were like, are totally covered up and just about the thing and don't want to talk to anybody. And then you got the ones who are the quote unquote fitness model types. They're there in their thong type of leotards and stuff. It's just part of the culture. Go to Gold's Gym, Venice. You're probably going to see everything over there. And
My issue is not the dress code. It's not an issue with me personally. I enjoy watching those girls coming through the gym. I'm a single guy. Can you blame me? Is when I see online, oh, he's staring at me or he's stalking me, but I'm sitting there doing my bench and you come in front of me, you do squats right in front of where I'm working out.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
gonna
think
work.
but I think that issue goes beyond just the gym. I think that's culture in general. Like if a woman's wearing low at the top and high at the bottom or whatever, she could be anywhere, and she could be like, what are you looking at? I've seen. You talk about the gym. Just think about the workplace. Some of the workplaces I've been in where you've had this kind of attire, and again, a lot of HR departments, they're very kind of hands off. Now, what they'll do usually is every year we would get a dress code policy. It would just be an email that would be sent, and it would talk in, text, nothing, dresses should be, again, in good taste. Again, even the language that they use is well chosen by their legal teams in terms of what they can say and what they can't say. And so, but there have been women who have violated that policy over the years in corporate America. And yet, you know, companies are reticent to, you know, kind of come in. Now, again, if it gets out of hand or something, yeah, the last thing a manager, male or female, wants to do is to call that employee into the office and be like, hey, you know, we're getting complaints about your dress code and whatnot, and you know, can you do something about it? I mean, that's led to some lawsuits. I mean, it's the last conversation that people want to have with an employee in terms of their dress code. Now, at least with women anyway. Now, men, look, if I went in there with a dress on or something, if I wore shorts to work, or if I wore like a tracksuit to work, then I think more times than not, you know, you're gonna get a talking to. I mean, I worked in some pretty casual places when it comes to dress code, but things like tracksuits are generally not accepted. Why, I don't know. Why you can't wear a nice looking Puma or Adidas tracksuit to work? I think that's a fly look, you know, look, especially on a casual Friday. But that being
I
said,
see a lot of office chicks wear leggings. A lot of them. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean that's
that's where it started. When
that-
these leggings came back, it started in the office setting, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember I caught it. I was working at a company called TNG Health. They're not around anymore. They got bought out, but it was a office building, healthcare, and they did health insurance. And I remember I was literally looking around like, I looked at my coworker like, his name was Tony. I was like, Tony, you see what I'm seeing? He goes, yeah. I'm like, you old perverted motherfucker. I'm like, and I realized like, a lot of girls started wearing leggings again, and it had never stopped. It skyrocketed after that. For
Mhm.
what? 10 years now, at least, a minimum, maybe more.
Yeah, it's definitely considered. I remember when leggings came out, and women started wearing them. That was like the fashion faux pas of all faux pas. Like all of the fashion writers and a lot of women talk about, oh my gosh, you know, this is the end of everything. Oh, it's so tacky. Now it's again, it's commonplace and it's just accepted. You know, just like jeans, like women's jeans, you know, tight fitting jeans was a
I'll give
thing
you a
at
great
one point.
example.
Yeah.
Like I work at a nursing home, obviously, you guys know that. And the part of the dress uniform is for the servers are a black shirt on top, usually a polo with the company's name, or a long sleeve shirt with the company's name again.
Mhm.
Their pants has to be black, dress pants or leggings. It says right in the handbook.
Yeah.
I'm like, and when I read that, I'm like, I pat on like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like,
Mhm.
I was surprised when I saw that, to be honest with you. They allowed leggings as part of your uniform. But I'm not too surprised either, because when I worked in the bar scene, in the winter they were wearing very short shorts, because it's hot behind the bar and all that stuff. In the winter, they were wearing leggings. It was black pants with the company shirt again.
Mhm.
It was all black.
Yeah.
And again, I was surprised when I saw it here a little bit, because it is a nursing home.
Mhm.
So, well, some old man might get very happy or ran over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's just as accepted now as pants. And think about it, a lot of women, what they're not wearing, what I'm noticing now, like women aren't wearing like pantyhose anymore. Like it's almost like they replaced, because it used to be pantyhose used to be where if you want to wear a dress and show your legs or something like that, that was the way you do it. But I think what the leggings do is that they allow you to show your legs or show your assets without still revealing skin or what have you. So, but I didn't think she was going to be up so quickly. But just to kind of set this up a little bit, so I have actually my daughter who's in the show tonight, Tiffany B. And so again, the general discussion. I mean, again, it started with fitness attire and what women sometimes wear to the gym, but I think the discussion is more generic to talk about
Mm-hmm.
dress codes in general. So before you got on, Tiff, I was talking about just even in corporate America, what a lot of times I see women get away with wearing, even though there's policies Like I said, I used to get every year we would get like an email with the dress codes, or like no offensive shirts, no dresses can't be too short, cleavage, like in general. But I said the hardest conversation that anybody I know who's been in this supervisory role, the dreaded discussion they ever want to have, is talking about bringing a woman into into your office and talking about what you're wearing is not appropriate. That's like the last conversation that certainly an HR person or manager or supervisor wants to have with a person. But first of all, certainly welcome to the show, Tiff. If you want to just introduce yourself, anything you want to say as far as your background or what have you. But you're on with, again, the Ghost of Sparta. He's not a ghost, and CBN Tech
Yes, yes.
Tech. So good guys. Hung out with these guys in New York not too long ago.
And
But
yes, I've been at your house too.
yes, yes. So he's been to the house as well. But yeah, if you want to just introduce yourself and maybe just whatever you want to say on the topic, or certainly if Peter or David, if they have questions that they want to ask you directly, certainly they can go and do so. But yeah, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Hi, everyone. First of all,
Good
thanks so
evening.
much, guys, for having me on the show tonight. This is very exciting. Brief background: I'm 23 years old. I graduated from undergrad in 2023. Professionally, I'm in the supply chain beauty industry space. I work in New York, big all things corporate. I work with primarily women as well. So I think every day I'm kind of just like looking at what, women are wearing around the office, and, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Um, for me personally, and I think my sisters too, we were raised on a you dress for where you're going type of principle. If we were going to church, we are wearing church clothes. We definitely had it a little relaxed. We didn't have to wear, the stockings and the dresses every Sunday, but, we couldn't look like we were going to go hang out with friends if we were going to church, right? Same thing with school. We wore uniforms all through middle school and high school. So every morning you get up, you wear your uniform, you don't break dress code because you're not trying to deal with the repercussions of that. It is what it is. We sucked it up. We wore our, play clothes on the weekend. So I think since young, it's always been you dress for where you're going. And even at work now, being in New York, things are definitely more relaxed as far as dress code. I think the demographic of women that I work with also are, I guess your average shopper, your slender woman, kind of tall, um, you know, not too many curves, not too many extra things going on. This woman could wear just about anything. So women in my office are wearing shorts and blazers and V-cut tops and um just like extra frills and patterns, and definitely it's like a come as you are environment. But for me, being raised how I was, it's definitely kind of like I'm definitely looking sideways at a lot of the women in my office. A lot of the things they wear in the office, I wouldn't even want to be seen like at home wearing. Like low cut tops in the office with a blazer. We could maybe do a square neck if we want to show something. I feel like there's ways that um a lot of the girls can, do things better. But also I just think it's how people were brought up. A lot of people now wear what they want to wear what they want to wear under clothes that they're supposed to, have on, and they kind of just move freely. So um yeah, I feel like it's subjective. Oh, definitely, though. I think main principle, you should be dressing for, where you're at. Same thing with gym attire, too, which I think Dad was mentioning a little earlier when we were speaking offline about, like, dress codes for gyms. Like, I think there's proper attire for that also. And, regardless of who's watching, and that's like a whole nother topic. But, we should be dressing for where we're at, and I think if women are doing that and that alone, no further questions.
Let me ask
So
you a question because you mentioned working in Manhattan in the women industry. I
Yeah.
have worked with two companies, which are N Inc. and the Athleta company. We mentioned dress code. It sounded like that was N Inc. when I was working at the tech, and they were coming in short tank top. Some were coming with see-through blouse showing their bra. And I asked a particular tech, what is the dress code here again? They mentioned women can come out they are how they feel like, and I'm questioning them, like I'm looking in the face. So how you expect men who are mostly engineers in this building how to operate? Because I had a code whereby if I'm coming to fix anybody equipment, I'm coming in to get that thing done as quickly as possible and get out. I don't trying to low for it. I'm just trying to get the heck out of there because one, every company Mr. Benny noticed, they will give you the training about sexual harassment, how you look at people, so on and so forth. And you mentioned somehow some of the people take advantage of it. At your age, seeing that you see the thing, what the first thing that comes to your mind you start asking to why are they doing that? Like what comes to your mind when you see that?
Yeah. Are you asking more so like what comes to mind from like outside looking in, or what's coming
Yes,
to mind?
yes, outside looking
Oh,
in.
I mean, like I said, if women are dressing appropriately for where they're at, it really should be no questions. Meaning, if a maintenance man or someone, and we have a custodian, actually a Greek guy. He's super nice. I talk to him every time I see him. Big ups to Greece, right? So like we have men walking around the office and being in the facility. I speak to men outside of my colleagues every day, maintenance folks, and even our men at the front desk and things like that. um in that environment, people are respectful. um, it's funny actually. I started my job a few months ago, and I've already, I've had a few hiccups, and none of them have been from the maintenance men or the men at the front desk or just, outside people from my company. Everything's been internal. So, I guess where I'm at, maybe people don't play those things. It's New York. I feel like you can get locked up really quick. You can also, escape charges pretty fast too. um but as far as where I'm at, we really don't have those interactions. But generally speaking, um I think if you are like an outsider going in a space where you do have women and other people dressing kind of however, you're in there to do a job at the end of the day. What is it your business paying attention to ABC? Granted, we have people out there, men out there that are much more crueler than that, and guys are going to look at what they're going to look at, and they're going to pursue if they want to pursue. But my hope is always just like get your job done and I think a woman that respects herself and cares about herself, if she sees that these things are going on too, hopefully she has the confidence to support whatever to defend herself if need be.
Hmm.
Now my next objective question is to apply that same mindset into the gym arena. I'm sure you're aware there's a thing that's going on whereby a lot of men are now trying to remove themselves from any potential environment that will create problem, especially how women dress themselves in the gym. Now you are there A going to the gym and seeing that type of environment. What do your mind tell you when you see that type of women be going on for the past few years as of lately? How do you feel about it? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. You can tell the women that are there that kind of only care about their image and what they're wearing and all the things. You can see it 1,000,000%. And at least at my gym, the girls that kind of do the most in that way, those are the ones that are, sought out by men. Even if they're not wearing, the super skimpy sports bra and the 3-inch short,
Mhm.
it's anyone that is going to the gym to seek the extraness, they're finding it. Those are the girls that are even doing the most, that are taking the extra steps to make themselves sought out to men. And this isn't to put any woman down or anything. I'm a girl's girl through and through, but I can also see when a girl is going to the gym trying to show off what she's working on. And all power to her, period. To an extent, we should be proud about what we're working on at the gym. But you can also tell when, some people are doing the most. But for the most part at my gym, the girls there, even the ones that are wearing the super, super short and the minimal sports bra, like they're there to work. And I'll say we're there to work because, depending on the exercise or whatever I'm doing, I'll even like wear a shorter short and not the legging. And, even I buy into that also, but it's never for a man. It's never to have that attention sought out because I'm there to work. And I'd say like 85% of the women at my gym, even the ones that wear those clothes, are there to work. And most of the guys um are there to do the same. I think the guys that are kind of weird and, go after girls, they're weird to their nature and they're always going to go after the weird girls and, kind of be with that, but I think the 80% of us men and women that are there to work, it don't matter what we have on, no one is really trying us. And for me personally, I'll see people stare and, do whatever occasionally, but I'm staring right back, and it's nothing to it. But I think I'm kind of new in my gym journey. So for me, like I'm always just looking at people to see like what their form is like. Is this form that my dad taught me? Because y'all know he's a trainer and into all that stuff. Like, is it a form that he kind of helped me with? Or like, what iteration of workout are you doing that I can learn? So, if I'm staring, I'm paying attention to that. I don't know.
So
Maybe I'm not the best person to answer these
No,
because I'm
no,
really
no.
just like,
hang on a second. Like, believe it or not, like I actually learned most of my forms by watching people over the years.
right,
As a karate teacher, and I mean, like, oh, that's a good roundhouse. Oh, I like how you spin his heel a little to the left. I see how you got a
right.
little power in that. But let me, I want your opinion on something. Two scenarios that has actually happened to me. I used to work as supervisor at the Monroe prison facility. Part of our handbook says we allow officers to hook up with each other. Literally, it says that. And I'm looking, I'm like, there has to be something wrong with this picture. If you were going to that job, what would you go through your mind as a woman? Like, it's okay to hook up with my fellow CO. What the hell? That's what I said to myself personally.
I don't know. That's strange. I mean,
I agree.
I guess I think a woman can do whatever she wants with her body. So if a woman is down for that, at least she has the clause written in there, so
Mhm.
no one in the office can come at her. And same thing for the men, but also that opens up like so
Can
much that opens up so much more stuff,
yeah,
that opens up work sanctions and
and that goes to my
etc.
next statement was I worked at another place that the director, the lady who ran the building, when she went through the building, she was like dressed a little bit erotic. Let me put it this way. And I'm looking at it like she's supposed to be leading as an example. If our president is not reading, no offense, Paul, and no, is not having leading by example, and you're walking around with like the mini skirts, low cut to the point your chest is hanging out. I'm like, we're all looking at him like, we're like, who wants to go after first as men? We're thinking about it, but nobody did anything. Obviously, nobody had the balls to do it. But almost every guy I talked to was like, yeah, I would definitely would try something one night if I was outside of work. Like, but how do you, as a woman, you see your boss dressed a certain way as an example, and that's okay, but you're not okay to do that. That's what I never understood.
Yeah. I mean, hmm.
That's a rough one,
I
isn't it?
don't know. I don't know. I mean, I haven't like worked in office in these types of dynamics much, so I feel like I don't really have much to say. For me though, it's always just a shame like how men are. Like, dang, she might be wearing what she's wearing, but like, aren't you supposed to be doing your job? Aren't your eyes supposed to be at your computer? If she's not even in your vicinity, what are you doing breaking your neck trying to like be a part of something? And I feel like
agree with you. I agree.
guys do that often sometimes, which also you can't fault them either. I get the biology and all the whatever, like men are gonna do what they're gonna do, but a woman to some extent shouldn't have to be put through that, you know?
Mhm. I personally, I'm going to speak for myself. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to chase a woman. She's dressed a certain way on my job. I'm too busy cooking. So, but if she crosses my pattern, I'm like, yeah, I might get a glimpse, but I don't have time for that stuff usually because I got to cook all 300 people in a day. So the last thing is my worry about who's the shorty coming by here. I don't have time. I might
Right. And
cook,
that's how most
yeah, out of my
people
way.
should be. Yeah.
Hey
Yeah.
I
Tip, just
agree.
given I guess with this climate now, like obviously I met your mother at work, so but that was a long that was a very long time ago.
Mhm.
So do you think are you seeing now that people are more resistant to trying to talk to someone at work with just given the Me Too culture and just just a lot of is the juice is just not worth the squeeze trying to meet somebody where you're working. Yeah, you might hang out, group outings, happy hour, and things like that. But trying to kick it to somebody, um, trying to kick it to somebody while you're at work, is that even? And again, for women also, to if you have an interest in a guy, whatever, is it worth it from what you're seeing, or do you see a lot of that kind of culture happening? I know you've been in a few jobs over that, recently. So is that something even worth it? To try to initiate something like that in a work environment, just given the sensitivity of things today.
Yeah. I mean, at my job, at all of my jobs, my teams, not like in total company, but my teams have been 90% women. So, like, no one is really out trying to pursue anyone. Total
Mhm.
company, too. Like, where I'm at right now, I was going to say like 93-7 with women at the majority. It's probably more like a 80-20 if I really thought about it.
Mhm.
So like there aren't that many men to women to necessarily go pursue.
Right.
But I do know somebody on one of the teams that I work closely with. I just learned that his wife is at the company.
Mhm.
And I think they met while they were I don't know all the details,
Right.
I'm going out with my team tomorrow, so I'm gonna learn all about the lore.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think there's some people in the company that, maybe have dated. There's people that are married.
Right.
I don't know if they got married, while working there, if they knew each other prior,
Right.
but
If they came in, yeah.
it's even like a dynamic to be working with your partner.
Right.
So
Now, is it in
yeah.
policy? Because I'm sure you've read like the employee handbooks and whatnot. Do they encourage? 'Cause I know my company, they say basically they don't say you can't date someone in the office. Although they will say if you are going to date someone in the office, you need to inform your manager or supervisor about it, just so it doesn't create a situation. But is there anything from what you've seen in your corporate policy about do they discourage dating someone in the office
You
or?
you should have told me to read the handbook before I got here.
I
'Cause
thought you
I'm
would have
like,
read. I thought you
how
would have read
how
the
am I
handbook
supposed to
on the
remember
first day of
that?
the job.
How dare
Look,
you?
I was
I thought you would
so
have read it
I
then.
was look, I was so excited to start my new job. I read the handbook because I had to, but
Mhm.
like I ran through it so quick. I don't even remember what it said.
Yeah. What?
Um,
Yeah. What?
but
How?
if
How?
if
Yeah.
I
How
if
much
I can
holiday time I get off
assume
and vacation
if I
time?
can assume though, probably I'd say like as long as it falls within like the best interests of the company and keeping things kind of mutual, yada yada yada, because we have a big
Mhm.
media presence also.
Right.
Um and like we're trying to protect that at all times, so probably there's something in there to
From what
not
I've
mess with the
seen
brand.
personally,
And
we're working with different companies. Hang on a second, David. You go next. What I've seen so many companies, they are usually cool with it, as long as you like your father said, Mr. President, you notify your upper management. You cannot be like, say, for example, you're under me, I'm your chef, and you're my server. That is not going to work because I gotta tell you what to do. And you're looking at me like, you're not telling me what to do. I'm like, you're my boyfriend. I'm like, not here. And like, you have to break that even. When I dated ex girlfriends of mine at work, it's never a good situation. It's never a good situation. We're being in the same department. If you're in a different department, that is more okay. If that makes sense.
right.
Yeah. So one question, and you got the next one. I want to ask you is, I'm just curious what your opinion on this. I see women all the time coming in with makeup out of yin yang, like Highlander, blush, everything, and about to hit the gym. I don't personally understand that. I think it's mostly retarded. I just want your opinion on it. Why do women do that? And what's your do you do your makeup before you go to the gym, for example?
That's mad funny because I've been in a rut going to the gym recently, and I had to put on a little something yesterday in order to go. Granted though, I work from home. I've been rotting in the house since Sunday. Like the gym was the first time in 48 hours I was going outside. And for me, like I just felt like I had to do it up, and we were going to the store, and yeah, like God forbid I run into somebody that I know in town. For me, I like to present myself in a certain way. But that was like the one time I put on makeup for the gym. If I have makeup on already, like if I'm coming from work or something, they make products now to where your makeup can last for like 24 hours. Fun fact. Um, they got the setting sprays with all the chemicals and all the things, chemicals safe of course, but at this point you could wear your makeup for 48 hours if need be. God forbid you ever in this situation. There's products out there for things now, so I feel like women doing their makeup just for the gym, like you're wasting product, you're wasting money. But like if you already have it on, if you're coming from work, why waste more
Or
time at home trying to, take it off, get to the gym? You got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
But I feel like if you're putting it on for the gym, I hope it's not for the male gaze, and like hope you're doing it because you want to look cute, or because you're a fitness influencer and you got to take your pictures after, or doing it for something like that. I respect that.
Oh
But
no,
I feel like
every year, and I see a lot of those cosplayers, professional cosplay. They have to dress a certain way, and I do understand that. David,
right.
you're up. David, you're up.
I'm glad she mentioned that because perfect example. Blink have a policy that allow fitness influencers to utilize their gym. So when you mentioned the makeup thing, that first came to my mind. I thought, oh yeah, that could be the case because there are a lot of people who are either on Instagram or on YouTube or any social media platform showcasing different workout routine or showing themselves working out. I think that is very appropriate to begin with.
Hmm.
But for a person who used to be a former gym rat, and I use the term gym rat as a person who just I look at the gym as a sanctuary whereby you go in there after a long day of work to unleash whatever negative energy or pressure on you. You just want to get everything out, get your burns so you can feel it all over your body. So when you go home, you feel lightheaded. That is my thing. And and I've been that way since my early 20s. My pet peeve, I would say, is the fact that what you mentioned, 80% of women are there to get their work, which is good. I appreciate that. Some may want to look and see if they got the right form, what I have done several times voluntarily, correct women on their workout where they're doing the dip with the machine. I have to correct them, keep your arm next to your body, don't move your elbow, keep it locked, and you flex the forearm. Then you get the work. Sometimes you have to I'm a little bit too of a technical person. I'm not as bad as Mr. Bennett, because Mr. Bennett is a trainer. I don't want to be a trainer no more because I got how would I put it? I don't like have to repeat the same thing more than 3 times and you're not catching on to it. I'll
You're a
look like
horrible teacher, David.
excuse me?
You're a horrible teacher.
No, I'm not a horrible teacher. Here's the problem. I'm very
Ooh.
patient with people. My issue is when you take the time out to break it down for somebody and they intentionally on purpose act like they don't get it, it become irritating. I don't like to waste time. So if I show you something, if I show you a routine, if I break it down the science behind it, really why you want to do it this way so you can get the burn you're looking for, and you repeat the same mistake on purpose to get on my nerve, I'll be like, okay, I'm walking away. I'll
I
show
mean,
you. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying. Basically, like, or if I can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but like women may be coming crazy at guys for correcting them in the gym or things like that. Is that kind of where you were?
Almost in that way, it just some may do it on purpose just for the sake of they want to throw themselves or try and gain attention. And I'm not like every guy. Some guys are just locked into their workout because they see that you're taking the machine. They want you to get your workout on so you don't take too much time on it. My issue is how long are you gonna waste willy-nilly time on the machine that you know you're not actually using, and people
Oh,
are waiting to use it. That's one of my number one pet peeve. I don't mind going to a mixed gym where both men and women are there, but what I see more often is women utilize certain equipment or certain machine just for the sake of just see who they can draw attention, but are not into the workout. When people are waiting to use that machine and they're aware of it, they act like they don't care. That's just me.
mm,
I'm a nerd, and when I'm in that zone, I'm in that zone. I'm not. I don't care how good you look. Nice, thank you. I would like to use this machine. Thank you very much. I'm on a time. I don't like time to waste. I'm not a bad teacher. It's just I don't like my time to be wasted.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm going off of what I see is that I don't see that.
Okay.
Once again, my gym, 80% of us men and women, we come in there to work.
Yep.
Even if we don't know what we're doing, I mean, like I said, I'm fresh into my routine. Half the times I don't even know what I'm doing. I tried to do these pull-ups and I done messed up my back yesterday. I'm going through it. Like
Uh,
even I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. But at the end of the day, I'm there to work and like, yeah, I might be doing these sets horribly, but like I'm going to crank them out because that's what I'm supposed to do and I'm learning at the end of the day. And I feel like even at like a chain gym where you have people that usually don't care as much, your Planet Fitness, your Crunch, whatever. I can understand from like a gym rat's perspective the annoyance of like needing their machines and needing to get in and out, but also from the perspective of somebody that's new in the gym, which has been me multiple times. I've been started my gym routine on and off, probably going on like 10 years at this point. So, you know, from someone being fresh, you don't know how to use things unless you use things. So like sometimes gym rat, you might just see someone and it's like, oh man, they have no idea what they're doing. Like there's these videos on TikTok of this uncle. I call him an uncle because he's like this older black guy, and you can tell he just has no idea what he's doing in the gym. He's wearing like a waist trainer that typically women wear. It's not his size, and
Jesus
he's
Christ.
using the machines like all over the place, right? But he's kidding for content. But if you take it seriously, he might just be using the machines how he thinks they're supposed to be used. If no one's been in the gym to show him or tell him how it's done, how do you expect uncle to figure it out, and eventually he did do a video with a content creator and they put him on game, right? So he figured it out. I would take the same thing and apply it to people at the gym that kind of like look all over the place, but the women that are just there to sit there and take up equipment, shame on them because they're taking up equipment for me too,
Yeah.
and I'm there to work.
Yeah.
So
And I think now I know for you, and I know you got to
and
go
I
soon, but I know that.
I totally agree with that, dude. That's why I give it that perspective because
Oh, are we losing him?
Yeah, he's freezing again.
Yeah,
David, you have a
you're
computer
freezing
problem
up
again.
here. But I was just gonna say, again, I know she's got to leave soon. I was just gonna say that the gym you select is also important as well. I think that's part of the because I know you had looked at a few different gyms and whatnot until you decided on the right one. So again, sometimes it takes you a minute to see what the culture is like, and if you do see that, then it may not be the gym for you. And but certainly we live in an area where there's an abundance of different gyms within a 10-mile radius that you could get to. So sometimes it's about finding where you're comfortable, the vibe is good, and the equipment and just people who are serious about their training. I think you'll alleviate a lot of that versus, like I said, the Planet Fitness or whatever. I got another daughter; she works at the Planet Fitness
And I
actually.
worked at Crunch, so I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
So,
worked at Crunch and I've been to all of the Crunch Planet, so I
yeah,
get it.
absolutely, absolutely.
No, I agree with you because when I used to go to Powerhouse, that's a really like it's a like a Gold Gym. Pretty much. Powerhouse is taking over Gold Gym pretty much at this point. And those people are the sweetest in there, they're the coolest in there, and they're no bullshit. And if you're struggling with something, somebody's gonna 9, 10 times they're gonna come up to you like, "Hey, do you need some help? Let me show you what is going on here," and they'll be more than happy to help you. Any member, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about the trainers. I'm talking about the members. They're awesome.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad you mentioned the gym culture because that is very essential because my every gym I built the same. And I'm glad Tiffany is giving the breakdown based on her perspective, which is very needed because there will be some gym that you can tell the culture is not stable. Now, Mr. Bennett know this full well. Court fitness gym, there's no room for shenanigans. If you've been to one, then you know you really there to work because the one people who run that gym will give you that look. If you're here to work, then you get to work. If you're
Mhm.
here to BS, they're the door. And I think that's the perspective when it comes to the culture.
yeah,
When you have a good culture in the gym, then people come to the gym with respect. They don't dress just anyhow. Now I understand what she said. Some people dress skimpy, and my first in my mind is based on that dress code. It could be based on how their body feel. Like some workout will make you feel like you cannot breathe, and sometimes you want to wear less clothes so you're able to breathe in your own body and not feel suffocated. Which I fully understand and I fully comprehend, which is no different with mixed martial art. Because when we have those heavy ass gi on you, there's some training routine that make you want to take the top gi off because you feel like you're burning up,
mm,
which is fully understandable. So I'm not taking flight on anybody. I'm a very logical and technical person. This is why when I look at the topic, I try to stay within the confine of the topic because I want to get the understanding and the view perspective because some people might take it the wrong way, some people might take it the right way. And Tiffany has done an excellent job breaking it down from her own perspective concerning the gym culture as well as the work culture, which I highly appreciate it.
Thank you.
now,
Now,
I would say one thing as the host of the channel and the creator and all that stuff. Thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure and honor actually talking to you. I tell your father all the time, and if I'm lying, you call me out right now, Paul. I have said he done a great job with you girls. So it's a pleasure and finally an honor actually talking to you. Hopefully I get to meet you one day in person, and so we both can make fun of this guy down here.
I'm not in it.
Only thing I'm gonna say, only thing, convince your father to grow a beard. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That's it.
We'll
I'm
see.
not.
Okay, we'll see. Look, my
I'm not
boyfriend has
in
a
it.
beard. We'll see if we could get him there. But once again, thank y'all so much for the opportunity. And definitely we will meet soon so we can convince him to grow a beard. And we'll get everybody in our lives that has a beard to join in on the fight. So I'm
Only
out.
last thing I was gonna say to you is you're always welcome to come on any show, anything you want to come on. Just let us know. You're always welcome to come on here. You're family.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all so much.
all right,
All right, y'all. Good night.
all right. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
No,
Um,
that's a good conversation right there because she helped me to see things from a different perspective because I had to ask those detailed, objective questions because this is something that I have observed. It's not just only in Blink, you see it in Planet Fitness.
Hmm.
I'm here the stories and some people have gone to the Crunch Gym, other gym as well. It all fall down into the culture on that gym and who run that particular culture. Because me helping somebody, it's never been a problem to me. If I see you doing things the wrong way and I know you might get injured in doing it, I'm going to stop you right there and there. And say, "Mm-mm, that's the wrong way of doing it. Let me show you the right way so you can avoid injury." Because
Yeah,
when you get in, me and Mr. Bennett know this very, very well. When it comes to working out with weight and machine, the right posture eliminate injuries.
sure.
The wrong posture increase the chance of not only getting injury, it can cost you days out of your job without you even expecting it. So if I see something, I will correct it.
Hmm.
And I'll explain to you in detail like any teacher would tell you, why you don't want to do it that way, because either you fracture your joint, you put too much strain in your joint, you put too much strain on certain ligament on your muscle, and there's a backlash. For those who to be driven up into Bennett, he said it before, when he was in college, he was small before he got big. He understand it. There's a limitation your body can take. But when you do things the wrong way,
Yeah,
the kind of pain that you get is worse than a horse kicking you. So
for
I don't
sure.
mind teaching people, do it this way, watch how you do it. The simple things, set up. I
Yeah.
don't like doing this. I don't understand that. For years I used to do it, and I realized when I told me not to put my hand behind my neck when you're doing sit up because you're shortening your neck. You want to activate a muscle in your ab, your hand put it in front of your chest, and you focus on that.
I always taught my students when I did it, I always have them up here like they're gonna fight. So one, it keeps your hands up until you're not doing anything pulling or anything like that. It's a new theory that I know, a newish theory I say about not putting your behind your neck. And if people have a habit of doing this still, I do it just because it just feels relaxing. But I tell people if you have to do it, just put them behind your ears, and then it's, oh, I can do that. But let's play this video really fast, and we'll get back into the conversation. How's that sound, guys?
No
Hmm.
problem.
A girl posted a viral reel of herself working out in a modest outfit at the gym, and almost all the comments from men were positive. But all the women in the comments made fun of her. Here's what her outfit looked like. Some of the comments from other women were that she was brainwashed, frumpy, or oppressed. Thoughts? A girl posted a viral reel of her.
Let me speak on that. That is common out here in Brooklyn. Most of the ones who dress that way are coming from the Jewish community. They're
Hmm.
the ethic on how they're supposed to conduct and dress themselves. So they have the flowy skirt and they have the short underneath or whatever they have underneath to do their workout. Nobody complain about it in the gym. We understand why they do what they do, and they respect them. Some of them, when they saw me working on the machine, they ask me question, how do I do the dip? I showed them. Elbow close to your body. Don't move it. Don't move it forward. Try your best to keep your elbow locked to your body. All you're moving is your forearm and your wrist. And you, if you're doing the hard one, the without the rope, you keep the forearm. You're using the rope, you pull. And I tell you where you go. I point out where to go target the muscle you'll be working on. I never had a problem with no type of group of women because when they dress that way, I had high respect for them because they know why. They're from a particular environment whereby it may say a lot. So that should never be a problem. But when you mention a lot of women are attacking them, the question is what dynamic are they coming from? What group are they coming from? Because there are people who are out there to shame people who don't dress provocative, who don't quote unquote show their curve, who don't represent, aka the sisterhood. And I find that weird. I really do. There's nothing wrong with it. But that dress code is not only flexible, but it's good for them on multiple reasons. From the technical aspect, if you're lifting weight, do deadlift, it doesn't get in your way. You can do any kind of workout with it without being feeling like you're exposing yourself. And it's breathable. There's no problem. Why they're complaining, I can never comprehend it. I'm a nerd. I'm gonna look at it, it's something's wrong with them. Not just me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, I agree. I certainly think the fact that she's getting clowned for that. Now, again, you've had instances where women have worn more provocative clothing where they get shamed as well. So I just think again, people are so into their into everyone else's business. I think at the end of the day, it's like,
thank you.
why are you in? Worried about what she's wearing. I mean, I would see that right away, and I would assume that she's either some ethnic conservative ethnic Muslim or something like that. And again, it wouldn't bother me because again, I'm not there, at least I'm not supposed to be there for to be meeting people like that. So the fact that she could still put it in and do what she needs to do, I got no issue with it. But the fact that women are trying to change the narrative in terms of what a woman should and should not be able to do, again, I think it's counterproductive to the arguments that they're making. You're talking about being having freedom. Well, again, freedom includes the freedom not to take off your clothes, or not to get a bunch of tattoos, or not be part of the whole culture. So again, those are freedoms as well. So again, if you truly are about women's liberation, you should adopt any and all sorts of lifestyles and options. So again, it just shows the hypocrisy sometimes when you see people doing things, or women who may be more conservative in their lifestyle. It's like, look, I married young. I'm married at 21 or in my early 20s with my husband and whatnot. It's like, oh, you haven't lived life enough or what have you. Again, I just think that the whole narrative is such that they're really not serious about. They're really not serious about what they say. If you're going to be about choice or the ability to make your own choices, then again, what difference does it make? But again, I flip that again to the other side, because again, yes, again, you may have women in the gym who are dressed more provocatively, and if the club allows it, then again, you have options too. You can either go to another club or gym where where they might be more serious, or you simply just be about your business. You see the guys, especially in the bodybuilding community. I mean, again, you'll see women like that all the time. But most guys today, you go to the gym and we've seen them. They got the hoodie on, they got the hoodie over their head, they got their music in their ears and stuff, and they're just zoned out. It's like, I won't bother you, and don't bother and don't bother me either. And people are gonna do what they're gonna do.
So I want to add a little bit to that. So first of all, if somebody want to dress a certain way, who the fuck are you telling me not to dress like that? That's number one. Let's get that out of the way. Number two, if she has dressed for a religion reason and you're clowning her and like, yo, mind your fucking business. Seriously. So Paul's right. If you're there for a working out, yes, go work out. But if you're there also to meet people, I met some great people through the gym. Some great friends of mine. And if you meet a girl in the process, great. But don't go for that. That should be your second primary. Your first primary should be working the fuck out. And I can't stand when people are like on the phones there, for 20 minutes going. And I looked at them like, you done with the fucking machine, or I'm gonna make you eat a goddamn phone. Well, you pick one. Simple as that. And like, I have people come up to me and like, like, I'm not on the phone. I'm just, like, are you done? I'm like, no. But if you ask me nicely, I'll let you work with me. And I have people come up to me and cool, like, yo, how many sets you got, bro? I'm like, I got 3, but you know what? You can work with me, dude. I'm like, because they came up with respectfully. Not like, oh, what, are you almost fucking done? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make you fucking eat the goddamn weight in a minute. I'm like, it depends how you come off too. I believe in gym ethically. And like, ask nicely, or some things you obviously you don't wear boots in the gym floor. You know what I'm saying? One thing I can't stand is seeing gym bags in the middle of the gym floor. That pisses me the fuck off. And a lot of gyms are getting rid of that now. They say no gym on the weight floor. You see signs all over. When we went to the Menso Inc., that is a hardcore bodybuilding gym. But the owners got tired of it from the first location. Keep the gym bags in the locker. Bring your water. Bring your notebook if you have one. Most people don't even have notebooks anymore. Everything's digital. And that's it. You don't need nothing more than that. Your straps and everything should be on you already. So why you bring your gym bag in? That makes no sense to me.
And I think the people that do that are most glad they don't have locks.
Go buy one.
That
People don't even lock their shit, bro. And how many times I go to the gym and I open the door and okay,
and that's very obvious. That is very obvious. And it's also depend on remember the gym culture, gym environment. Some places you don't have to worry about getting a lock because people are not gonna take your stuff. But it's also depend on the environment where that gym is, where the location is. Because there's some people who are very sneaky. They monitor who come to the gym and see who they can pickpocket or take their belongings. So that falls
or
down.
a lot of gyms also have little hot cubbies right behind the front desk. And you put your keys in your wallet there, and the front desk is responsible for your stuff there. They know who's who.
and not to those
One
who
thing
need it.
I will say about not muscle, I'm sorry, Planet Fitness, they have those lockers. You literally you can put yourself in there, and unlock it, and you get your code, and you put it back in and unlock it again. And it's very small. You can keep like a few things, sneakers, a shirt or two. That's it. Nothing crazy. Not like a big one. But that's one thing. One good perk about Planet Fitness. Everything that sucks about Planet Fitness, in my personal opinion, but that's different conversation for a different show.
Mhm.
So with the lowest thing is, she's right. You guys, I think women are the worst critics in the world out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They attack each other like they're like piranhas. Go ahead, David. You guys want to say? Go ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's
Okay,
just something I've been trying to like comprehend because I'm not trying to act like I don't understand. But when you're coming from a nerd mentality and looking for the logic, the rationale, the technicality behind everything, it have to make sense. That is why I said certain brand make proper gym attire for women due to breathability, flexibility, and able to do any kind of workout without feeling being restrained, which I fully understand and I comprehend that. That's not a problem. The men they're talking about, the people who are zoned in, bodybuilder or people in strength training, they have a unique uniform. Hoodies, big headphones. Now the small one, the big one. They want to be zoned out. They do not want
And
to be
yeah, and
bothered.
and the look is such they're telling you, leave me alone. It's like, I
That's
mean, you wear a sign around the neck, leave me the blank alone. They just want
and
to get their groove on.
that is a
want me to say it
that
for you, Paul? Because you won't say it. Want me to say it for you?
Yeah, you're like
Leave me the
Luther the
fuck
angry.
alone.
He's
and
Luther the angry translator. So that's your
I
role.
know, and that is what it is. And some of them, I'm cool with them because when they see me and say, "Hey, how you been?" I let them know what's going on. So sometimes they drag me to their workout, which I'll be like, "Ugh, "Okay, let's get it going. Let's get over it. We got to do this." I will look at them and why did I join them? I said, well, whatever. I get into the workout routine. I get the burn. I match with. Sometimes I match with them. Sometimes I don't. I win some. I lose some. But I like that type of community because they're all about the business. They're not here to play around. They're here to get that workout. Sometimes there'll be days I'm already in my zone already. And my zone is a little bit barbaric than their own zone. And they see that look on my face. Like, this brother is getting it in. So when we see each other, we either get the nod, do this, you get the fist bump, you get our respect, we keep it moving. And that's the gym culture of those who are about the business. That's why I'm glad when Tiffany broke it down to the gym that she go to, it showcased that gym culture that you go to have a very unique gym culture. Everybody about the business, about 80% of them. No one here to play game because whoever established that gym established the culture they want in that particular gym. But you better know this: when you go to a core fitness gym, a core fitness gym is not like regular gym.
Hmm.
It's not like a muscle gym.
Right. Well, you
Core
also got to understand too. Like I said, um, there's a huge difference between again a private gym
Mhm.
versus a corporate chain. And
It
so again,
is.
with corporate chains, it's a different business model. It's not about the hardcore. Even with Gold's Gym, like Gold's Gyms back go all the way back to those days back in Venice, Venice
Beach.
Beach, and those guys with Arnold in the 70s and 80s. Again, it was a very different when the guy Joe Gold sold Gold's Gym, the whole model changed. And then they started opening up like daycare centers for working moms and have your kids there and stuff. I mean, it's a different it's a different demographic. It's a different audience. But for those, like I said, if you're gonna a CrossFit guy, he's pretty much he's very much about setting the culture because that's very important to CrossFit. Unlike
And
any other training system, the culture matters. You
not,
used to have a lot of women's gyms, women's only gyms, Living Well
hmm
Lady, and I think Bally's maybe had a line of
hmm
gyms that was specifically for women because they were trying to appeal to a particular demographic of people. Now you don't see too many of those women's only gyms anymore, which I'm kind of surprised about. I would think that
I
in
haven't seen anyone in years. I thought
right
they
in the 80s it was like the rage, but I'm sort of surprised again, just
80s
given what
and
women are
90s.
saying. I don't like when men gawking at me in the gym, and I don't like this and I don't like that. You would think there would be somebody who would create a chain of women's only gyms
They did.
so that they could, that's not a concern unless the woman is not heterosexual. You would think that would be something that would be growing now, but I haven't heard of anybody striking out of. But I think Living Well Lady was like the last one. There was one in Edison, in New Jersey, for many years, and they ultimately closed down. So again, you may have like some studios. I know you and certain things are for women only, like Pilates. It's like 95% of people take Pilates as women. I don't see too many men doing Pilates, for example. Um,
You know what has
so
been popping out a lot for gyms, and it's more for both sexes, men and women. There's personal training studios.
yeah,
They've been popping out right and left like candies now.
yeah,
And like
Yep.
you can literally open a small personal studio under a couple thousand. You don't need a lot of equipment. You just enough to do what you need to do to train somebody,
But the
and
thing is,
it works. And you can charge
the
top dollar. Like some trainer, like one over here. I'm sorry, with David, like
right.
one training studio up here. He's ridiculous. His prices. I'll be honest with you. He's ridiculous for a 10 packet. He's asking $1,000 up, and $1,000 per session, almost 10 grand.
mhm.
Like ridiculous. And the other one down the street from me is only like $75, and like
Yeah.
you get
Well,
more out of
that's marketing. That's a certain client base. In fact, I've talked to trainers about that. Some guys, you have to charge that. It depends on the clientele you're going. Like David, if you're like a Wall Street guy or someone who's really into that kind of space, with them, their time is their most important asset. And for them, they have to be able in their own minds justify, why am I going to take an hour off to go and do this unless there's a price tag onto it? So for certain people, it's about a perceived value, that when they see someone who's charging $1,000, that they're getting something for their money. Them, it's all about. It's the same thing with the cars they drive. I mean, again, a high end $150,000 Mercedes SEL or whatever that much more than a top and other car? I mean, there's safety standards that apply to all cars now. But for some people, they don't think that they don't feel the value unless they spend the money. It happens in the training and in the training industry also. Same guy could charge $50, another guy charges $500 a session. And you know, certain guys, even if it's the same thing, they will not do it because in their minds they cannot justify, I'm taking an hour away for $50 when I can in that same hour make $5,000. So if I'm going to take this time off, I have to, in my mind, though, it's a different thought process.
Mhm.
I have to pay $1,000 because that's the only thing that'll motivate me to go. Because I've seen a lot of people buy cheaper packages. You said $1,000 a session. I've seen people who will buy like a $500 worth of session, like a year's worth of training, but because it was so cheap, they didn't go. Because again, it's like it doesn't hurt. The first gym that I actually signed on and belonged to, this is back in 1997, 98, like in that ballpark. It cost me at the time like $75 a month, which I thought was at that time, that was a decent chunk to paying for the gym. But guess what? The fact that I was paying that every month, my mindset was, oh, I'm gonna get everything I can out of this because I'm spending this money. I'm not just gonna throw $75 a month down the drain. I'm gonna get my money's worth. And that is when the light switch went on, when I fell in love with the gym and I got really serious about it. But if that was like a $10 Planet Fitness gym, I'd be like, I'll go in next time. It's only cost me $10 a month or whatever. So for me, the fact that it was expensive was a motivator to keep me going because I knew I had that money on the line.
I
Now
agree with you.
let me
So
say
what?
this:
Go
in
ahead,
the
David. You
city,
go
in
first.
the
I go
city,
next.
in the city, there used to be a lot of the women focused gym throughout the 80s and the 90s. Since the 2000, it be a slowly decline. So the thing, it was wellness. It was some other name brand, two or three of them. And lately in Brooklyn, you don't see them much anymore. Manhattan, you see a little of them. They disappear in Queen. It's the Pilates gym that end up swapping out the women focus gym. Pilates was more so to the women demographic than that to the men demographic. They were the one that grew more because the women gym it was more issue about the equipment they have there doesn't match the equipment that you see in regular gym. That's what the issue be in play. That's one aspect of it. Second aspect of it, the quality of the equipment. Now you have a lot of franchise. You have Blink, you have Planet Fitness. There was a third one called Retro Fitness. They do have one nearby where I live. That no
Yeah, there's
longer
one
exists.
literally down. I'm David down the street. I can walk there pretty much if I wanted to. The one I personally like, another corporation is actually people don't know this, but I know one of the owner franchisers. They're actually took over Gold's Gym, and eventually
Mhm.
all the Gold Gym will be powerhouses. The Powerhouse Gym is a really nice gym corporation.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Mariana mentioned curves.
everybody forget this brand, Bally. Remember Bally Gym?
Yeah, Bally's had a women's only division. And I know Mariana, she mentioned Curves. I thought that was a private training studio. I've heard of
It was.
Curves.
It
It,
was.
it was like
It
most
was.
like a one-on-one training, not so much a like
Mhm.
a just a gym where you had a bunch of equipment in it.
Bally disappeared and ended up becoming 24-hour fitness. That what took over
I
Bally.
remember about it. The one I didn't like, and they were very pushy about getting me signing up that day. I'm like, I'm not signing up. Is LA Fitness, and they were really
Mm.
pushing down my throat. I want a lady, back off. And it was closer to my job. It was about 40 minutes from here. And she actually traveled to and at a gym. Like she goes, "Man, I seen you around." Blah, blah, blah. We start talking. She goes, "Come on, Pete, you want to join today?" I'm like, no, I got two more other gyms I want to check out. He goes, "Yeah, you mean you do?" I'm like, "No, I don't." I'm like, back
And
off.
that one is not in Brooklyn. If it were to be in Brooklyn, that'd be toward to the borderline of Brooklyn and Queens. That they have one in the Bronx. The only gym to me that I would prefer going to, but hard to get to due to location, is the UFC gym. The UFC gym is not a regular gym. That's a whole complete different ball game. I'm sure if you've been to a UFC gym, you see a start different from every other gym. When I mean completely different, the workout routine they have you train your whole entire body. Which I prefer to have that type of workout because the type of MMA cardio workout that will put you through. After an hour or two of it, by the time you go home, you feel like your whole body got hit by a bus. You're working on every single strength of muscle in your entire body. They have you pounding on dummy. They have you do all type of routine. They even have the what do they call it, TKO kickboxing gym.
Yeah.
That becoming a more popular thing now. But when I mentioned Platinum Core Fitness, I remember Core Fitness have a not only a culture, it's a uniform, like what you're supposed to wear. Because on Core Fitness, the type of workout you're going to be doing, there's a required type of footwear you're supposed to have because they want to make sure you protect your ankle. You're gonna be doing all type of core fitness workout. They don't want you to pop your ankle any kind of way. I've been noticing that for a while now, but they advertise footwear in case you don't have this for. They have the license to sell it there. That became the thing. They have the outfit because core fitness. I don't think you just wear any type of gym or attire to go there because you be doing. If you see the core fitness on competition, see what they wear. It's almost uniform to everybody.
Mhm.
Because the unique type of workout you're putting yourself to, you need to be as
One
comfortable
thing
as
I would
possible.
say about the CrossFit I do enjoy, and I still want to try it. I really do. They have a military and family base. That's one thing I do enjoy about them. It's all motivation and family. If you don't call your phone, hey, your phone be blowing up. So I will give them that. But anyway, man, my brain just froze. Paul, go ahead. You wanted me to show
Yes,
this?
I just wanted to. So, we talked about just the attire. Again, it's changed, and again, mind you, this is a more conservative time than today. So in the 70s, you started to see the skin tight leggings and the bodysuits and whatnot that came out then. That was like Jane Fonda. Then you had all those home videos, Buns of Steel, and all those kind of workouts that they were that they were using in that time. So again, this isn't new. I mean, this would be provocative today. This is again, women are wearing this to work today. But I'm just saying, but this was like the attire from then. So if you keep scrolling down, where it really took off was like I said, the 80s. Like that was the 80s.
Mhm.
Now I don't know any women who are wearing this to the gym now, unless you're like really like almost like an OnlyFans type of content creator. But this was the 80s when they were wearing this. So when I hear, oh well, what are women wearing to the gym today? I'm like, this has always been around. I mean, so
But they wear
uh,
it with the leggings
but
in
again,
between.
you're not leaving too much to the imagination with those kind of outfits, or even if there was the full leggings, you had like the thong top. So again, the butt cheeks were certainly very well accentuated in
Oh,
that
you mean?
time. So yeah, so I mean, so keep scrolling, but again, I think it's gotten more overall. I mean, yeah, you got some influencers out there. See, leggings is more popular, the more casual area. Then you started to have the companies like Athletica coming out with like the fit wears and whatnot. But I would still venture to say now with this clothing out, I still don't think it's provocative as the 80s. I mean, anything you're seeing here, yeah, it's kind of casual, and um, whatnot. I know apparel companies that make this kind of stuff. None of this stuff I think they're making is like X rated. But
No,
back then,
No,
yeah,
I'm not saying that. Even in the 80s, I don't think it was X-rated even back then.
no,
Like,
go back to the one. Go back to the 80s one. No, that's pretty provocative. Scroll back
probably
up.
yeah, but not
yeah,
X-rated, Paul.
No, that is pretty. That's pretty hard for a gym setting.
yes.
Even if you had like the separate gym class where they were doing like the aerobics in the gym studio or whatever, how many guys would have their faces glued pinned against the glass wall looking in at all the girls, especially when they're doing their bent over stretches and things of that nature, or their kegel kegels up 1 2 3 4. So again, that would have been a situation certainly back then, with guys seeing that. I don't think you see that today. So again, with the exception
No,
of maybe a couple influencers here or there that are trying to again make their OnlyFans or IG or TikTok photos or whatever. I don't think it's the norm. But again, you as the gym owner or the manager, whatever, I think you have to set the sort of culture that you want, and you may lose some people. So again, that's what I'm saying. With a corporate gym, you got to understand with a corporate strategy, there's like bring in as many people as possible. I don't care what they wear. I don't care whatever. As long as we don't lose business, then bring in, it's all about mass. But if I was going to set up my own training gym, my own personal gym or a private gym or something like that, yeah, I could say, nope, sorry, you can't wear that in here.
no.
And I would have to be now, and I would have to bite the bullet on that if I needed to.
I would say that now it becoming a big market when people trying to create the perfect workout outfit because shout out to Mandrell. He was trying to run his own business too because it fall down into the material. Now here's where it get real tricky. Everybody's skin type is not the same. Certain material is comfortable on certain people's skins. Certain material make other people's skin break out. And we realize the type of workout routine we are doing these days is not like it back in the days in the 80s or the 90s. We are doing all type of fundamental workout because either we're trying to get tone or you're trying to build, you're trying to build endurance, you're trying to build your stamina, or you're trying to increase muscle definition in some part of your body, you're trying to shed some weight. And the thing is, the amount of time you spend in the gym, I would, Benny, you know this very, very well. You've been to college. Imagine when you have almost 90% of people working out like a damn horse. The amount of heat that it gives off in the gym, it feel like it's suffocating. Right or wrong?
You
You're
muted,
muted.
you muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, you muted.
Sorry about that. I've been to some again hardcore gyms where you can smell the stench from outside, right? There's no air conditioning. I mean, you got the fans going, or sometimes it's like they got a necessarily in a Pollen gym. A lot of IFBB pros train there and whatnot. The air conditioner, it's like it used to be like a firehouse or something like that. So we got these big garage doors that open up. Diesel gym, same thing. You open up the garage doors, and that's your ventilation. So again, but some people again they want that environment. And if they
And
want that kind of environment, then they're gonna go for that. I mean, it's like
and
there's
and,
certain.
and I get that because this is where the material come into play because over the year we see the change of the gym outfit. Now it got to a point whereby it had to be aerodynamic, it had to be breathable, it had to allow you to let the sweat come out of your clothes so it don't come back in because you and I both know this. When you're in that zone do something to you whereby unless you are satisfied, you're not stopping.
Mhm.
And imagine being in that type of environment where everybody in that same zone, the level of heat, the level of you said it would be the stench.
Yeah. And again, a
And,
lot of people want is if you're a bodybuilder getting ready for a competition,
whew,
you're not only going to wear one hoodie, you're going to be wearing multiple. You're going to be wearing layers. You want to sweat as much as possible. When you take that stuff off, you can wring it out because of all the sweat. Why? Because you're cutting for a show.
or the way
Also,
the,
don't forget now they
the
have
way,
this, there's suits now you wear, sauna
it's gonna
suits. So that
Sauna
was,
suits. Yeah.
yeah.
that
Yeah.
that
So
that made it even worse.
right, but I mean, if you got to get cut, you got to burn fat, you got to take the water out in order to get the cuts and the lines and the definition. So yeah, it's a like I said, bodybuilding. As far as I'm not talking about not just the training, but the process of preparing for a competition. I was never a bodybuilder. But certainly what those guys go through, the dieting and getting ready for a show is worse than the training itself. Yeah, you can train hard, bench 500 pounds or whatever, but imagine you're dehydrated, you're getting up in the morning doing fasted cardio, you're eating, chicken, boiled chicken and broccoli leading up to the show, and that's the only thing you're eating. I mean, these guys are miserable and near half death by the time they get on stage. I'm not exaggerating that. These
He,
guys are
he's not lying.
sub 5% body fat, getting on stage, having to hold those muscle poses without locking up, cramping up, dehydrated. So again, you're in a very sickly position, and you're only going to hold that conditioning for maybe a few hours for the show, and then you got to start all over again, if you're going to do another show later on. So again, but I know people who live for that. Like, they don't want the fancy corporate gyms, they don't want the spinning machines, they don't want the TVs, they don't want the music. That's another thing, the music that they play in these gyms, they don't want. That's why they got their own headphones and everything on. They want their own music. They don't, they want a like Arnold used to say, it's like train like a church. You got to keep it quiet like a church. That's for them. For them, it is a spiritual experience as much as it is a physical one.
Now the one that training for a football session, the football workout, I have been with those type of folk and help them. Sometimes we spot them. It's like they're training for a war. I'm gonna be
One thing
real
I
with
will say,
you.
David, is nothing compares. If you're a hardcore instructor like my sensei was, you're wearing a 12 to 15 ounce gi. Then it was the middle of the summer, 90 degree, no AC. He turns the heat on to max, all the way to 90. He
I
goes,
get that. I get
wait,
that
wait,
part.
wait, wait. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I'm not done, 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 done. He goes, I'll be back. He comes back 2 hours later, and you're doing calisthenics the whole time. You don't stop because he's watching from his office in AC, and he's like, "Oh, it smells in here." He goes, "Okay, warm up is done. Let's get into the class." After 2 hours, that's a 2 hour warm up.
That is normal. But the
Oh,
thing
I
I'm
know
saying,
for us it is, but for average Joe, we're looking at it, he's probably listening to this video, listening to us right now. And go, you guys are insane.
yeah, but when I'm referring to football, American football workout is not normal. To let them know what I'm talking about. You have these guys who are either linebacker or quarterback. 315. How many reps they got to do for each round? 20 reps or so. And you got to spot them. Notice like the bench press 315 and trying to do 20 reps each. They're building some explosive strength because when you're doing the tackling, it's not normal. And I've seen the workout from start to finish, and I'm like, damn. So imagine you add that with mixed martial art, you wear the, like you said, the 10, 15 pound gi. I've done that part, but I've done it where I was outside in the blazing sun, fell out in Japan. We didn't have the luxury of being in a dojo. We did it outside when the sun is actually cooking and you could smell your skin getting roasted. And you barefooted on a shiny, you know what bad to doing training on a shiny concrete ground that it look like you see a reflection and the sun is bouncing off it, cooking your feet. You notice like when you're jogging around that area, you smell your bunions roasting, bare feet,
Smell your
no
butt.
sneakers, no sneakers, mind you, no socks. We're doing it bare feet, like you doing Okinawa, Japan. You're doing squat, you doing you have a joke. You buy a white gi now. In 3 months' time, that white gi turned to chocolate brown. That's too much sweat that went through that gi. No matter
Dude,
how
don't
much,
forget, back in the
no
day,
matter how much you bleach the gi, it's not coming out.
when you got your black belt, you didn't get a black belt back in the ancient time. You got a white belt, and it turned into a black belt over years.
Mm.
That's why it's voodoo. I'm serious. Is worst thing you can do is drop your belt on the ground and like it's like
Uh,
stepping on
uh,
the cross.
yeah, that's every art in karate. So believe when I say that the training we did back in my country in Africa, it was brutal. Hot sun, there's no cloud. The sun is cooking you, blazing you. You're standing over there doing squat. By the time you are done, by the time you put your feet in cold, you can hear the sizzle coming off. That would mean your skin was being cooked, the body being cooked. Do that for a while. After 3 months, your white gi is turning almost brown. That's from all the sweat. No matter how much bleach you put in the bucket to wash it out, it doesn't come out that easy. You gotta buy another gi afterward. That was excruciating. I would have preferred to stay inside a dojo and train instead of being out in the blazing sun. You know, I got darker than this. They'll call me Shadow.
That's cute.
That's how very funny. Turn off the light, you don't see me. Only see my eye until you think that's a demon. That is not cute.
I was being a smart ass, David.
I know you think you was being smarter, but that what I feel like doing karate training in the more traditional sense you can think of. No roof, blazing sun, all clouds. So imagine you the military. I can now understand how people train the military when you have you working on the hot sun. They gasping like when they're gonna be over. So I have to have respect for people. So the routine, even though I've been noticing there's some women come up from the military don't like wearing gym attire. They like to wear their cargo pants and feel that heat. And I'm like,
They're
you
used to
broke.
it. That's what it is.
I know you broken. They broke you to it. That's what I'm saying. The gym attire matter these days, depending on if you can breathe in it. Now, like with the benefit, the bodybuilder, they wear a hoodie. I get the hoodie part to make you sweat. But after a while, I cannot stay under the hoodie.
But that's again, that's the torture. That's you don't want to do anything. You don't want to eat the food. You don't want to do the cardio. You don't want to wear the clothing. And I said it's suffering.
Suffer,
It is
suffer is
it is
not the word for it. It feel like you're coming out of hell because you just do 2 hour workout with a hoodie on, cover yourself, and you only get like a minute break after a while. The time you took the hoodie off, you see steam coming out of your neck like that, blocking your nostril. You're like, God damn! Just because you can't drop 10 pounds of water sweat,
yeah.
which is brutal, very brutal. That's why I say there's a unique culture in some gyms that they made it that way, whereby it's almost it's almost competitive, where you have the men not competing with the women, but the women competing with the men. Say what you can do, we can do, and we live in that look like, no, you're not
Well,
there yet.
let me ask you guys, since you guys are single or certainly in a different status, could you date a bodybuilder?
Yes.
I'm
To be
not
honest,
sure.
yes.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure.
I mean,
Let me
she's serious. I mean, hardcore training, diet. You're going to deal with the mood swings. You're going to deal with Now again, if she's natural, that's one thing. I'm talking about if she's on the sauce,
Mm.
if
I'm
she's on the
sorry.
applesauce, Pete, you would still do it.
And the real answer, I'm not sure.
No offense, Paul, but what is any difference than if she's on her cycle?
Hair growth, enlargement in certain places, the lower voices, the masculine
It
jawline.
really depends what kind of bodybuilder we're talking. I was talking about a bodybuilder, like
No,
I said a
that's not.
bodybuilder. I mean, look,
No, that is
even
that is
listen.
bodybuilder could
First
be
of all of the
division.
if you talk about the naturals, that's another category.
mhm,
I'm saying anyone, even the bikini, IFBB bikini competitors, they're all on something. All of
pretty
them.
much. That is very
It's
true.
just a level of degree, how far you want to
Absolutely,
take
I
it.
agree with that.
How far you want to take it. So they're all on something. But again, a lot of those same signs, you got to be, once you get on the test and the Diana ball and the all those agents, that cocktail that they be getting on, there
Mhm.
are some side effects. Now, again, some people appreciate those side effects, like the enlargement. Some people appreciate that, but others, not as much. So it's like you take the good with the bad there. But I mean, somebody who was like really into it, like that, like some of those women who we saw at the gym.
Mhm.
Some of those ladies were, jacked. I mean,
You can
straight up. I
tell.
mean, this
You
is
can tell.
no. So again, you could go for actually one of them.
Depends on the
I would.
division, bro. If she's in the bikini division, I would definitely go for that one. I'm not
Or
gonna-
bikini. So now I'm talking. So not the open bodybuilding class. Then not
no,
one of the
not that
women.
like heavyweights are big bodybuilders, like they're turning into like my arms. One of my arms, two of my arms is equals one
Or
of
her
her.
arms are going to definitely be bigger than yours. No question.
Now, for
Yeah.
me, it's a question mark. Really, why I'm saying that because of my body and my size, I have a natural, and I have a concern. You and I both admit to Bennett, though in the bodybuilding realm, sometimes they may have that they're doing a test their strength against somebody. And I don't like it if you want to test your strength against me and you feel some kind of way that you're not able to overcome me. I don't feel comfortable about it because when I've been doing my natural throughout my early 20s, I was pushing against football players who were 2 or 3 times my size to test my strength level. And I was holding them back pretty well. And you know this very well. Women bodybuilders who are on that substance, it based on the variation degree of how far deep they're in. Some might get to a place they want to test you. And I have a decorum when it comes to women in that category. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I don't want you to disrespect me. But if I sense that you're about to go across the line, then it will become a problem.
Mhm.
That's just me.
It's because I mean, again, if you're working out with weights, if you're doing it consistently, you're gonna grow,
Yes,
right?
I
I
know.
mean,
I know that.
that's just so the I guess the temptation is how far do you push it? Okay, it's like, yeah, I can really be good here, but especially if you're about now again, you also, I think, to be a bodybuilder, you also have to have a natural genetic disposition to put on muscle. Not everyone can take a bodybuilder. I don't care how much juice you're on. Not everybody can be a bodybuilder. So it's got to be that combination of being able to gain muscle quickly. Maybe you come from an athletic background. Maybe you were like a track sprinter or something like that. A lot of the women that had sprinters backgrounds, they were gymnasts. They were something where they had a lot of muscle, had to use a lot, and they're just used. And you see now, I mean, like look at the U.S. women's gymnasts. All those girls are thick. I mean, they used to be like real skinny and everything. All these ladies thick as a brick right now. I mean, they look like bodybuilders now. And I don't know if they're taking anything or not, but I'm just saying, but now what if you then take that structure and then you get into training like bodybuilding and then you add the salsa on top of that? I
Eh,
mean, I can imagine Simone Biles on the sauce. Psh, that'd be crazy, But
and you got a point because some of them are now transitioning from that into wrestling now, and you can see it clearly.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to be on something. I mean, it's
You,
so
I'm not saying they're not on anything. They're on definitely on something in that prefer. I don't
yeah,
care
but
what sport you're in. I don't care if you're in football, basketball, soccer, rugby, whatever. You're on something at all time. Like football players, I argue this all the time. You get hit so hard on those fields. The next day you gotta go out, practice, or even sometimes you might have a game on Sunday. Even in this Monday, you might have another game because Monday night football. So and you can be not bruised up. Bullshit. You're on something, fuckers.
And the thing is, me and Mr. Bennett know this very well. When you're on a sore bit on a level of degree, it changes or affects your personality to a certain degree. It does. Either you like it or you don't. You can't say that's not the case. I have been one who pride myself on being natural all the way through. If anything, I may take whey protein because at my age right now, I have to get some either muscle milk or some kind of whey protein mixture
This woman was filming at the gym when someone accidentally walked into frame.
because for one, after a unique workout, if I don't recover properly, I feel the backlash the next couple of days.
Mhm.
I tried a 100 squat workout that put me done under 20 minutes, and because of that, I had to drink muscle milk for 3 days straight just to alleviate the pain on my thighs because the amount of impact that it giving on my thigh, I can feel the muscle strain. It's like if you very keen to your body, the better know it very well. You could sense the strain in your muscle where it's affecting you, and you wonder you can stretch it out. If the stretch is not working, you figure out, okay, what I need to take to alleviate this pain. Seriously, I took a banana. That banana's not enough. So I realized either I give me a muscle milk, I drank that for 3 days straight, it alleviated the pain. So I was like, okay, I want to get back to this workout. I want to enjoy the impact, but I need to make sure I have recovery food. I'm not gonna be on a sauce. I'm gonna avoid that completely. But if I had to be on some kind of whey protein, it had to fit my diet, whereby it's not getting any other extra effect that I don't need at all. Period. But I
Mhm.
know people who have been on the salt and it affect them dramatically over the period of time. It affects the way they think or way they behave.
Mhm.
You can almost tell. And Mr. Benedict jump at no different from me. So we can pick up on that.
Mhm.
So you can say, oh, no, that's not, no, the salt, it does
Although I
things
can't, I
to you.
can't, I wouldn't want to even think about David on the in a roid rage. That
See?
that that'd be the end of it. That'd be the end of
See?
everything. We all
And
know how you get to bear paw as it is. You put them on the sauce. That
don't put me on no sauce.
say,
I won't
don't
be
make me angry. You
I
wouldn't
won't,
make
I
me
won't be
want to.
bear porn no more. They call me Black Hulk. That will
I
change.
mean, yeah, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. That would be scary.
And that was my old nickname back in my job. They call me Black
Mhm.
Hulk because the time I was angry, I was lifting 800-pound K full of machine because I was pissed.
Mhm.
I just lifted up, shifted. Everybody looked at me like, okay, don't you have a woman? I looked at them then again. You want to say something again? They're like,
Mhm.
oh, no, nothing.
Yeah.
So I know the kind of person I am. I'm not a small dude. That's why I say I cannot be a Groot. Either you call me a bear or a gorilla.
Okay,
Choose one.
You're ugly as a Groot. There, happy.
Mhm.
No, it's either a bear or a gorilla. Choose one.
Jesus Christ.
Now that being said, I was supposed to. For some reason, I met you for the first time. I thought you would actually be bigger. I didn't know I was that much taller than
Yeah, because I'm 6 foot, but I drop a lot of weight.
you.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to drop more weight.
I was like, I was expecting like massive guy, big,
Like, like,
bear
like,
hug stuff. I was like, okay,
like,
you look kind
like
of,
BMU,
you look kind of normal. You look
and
kind of.
that's the thing. BMU time makes me feel like I'm huge. I'm not that huge.
Nah, it wasn't. I was surprised. I was expecting like this hulking big guy, and it's like, oh man, he's gonna give me this big bear hug and stuff. But nah, I was like, okay.
And that's the thing. If when I start to work out like I normally do, then my body change. Look, it's like I make fun of my body. I have what they call the Saiyan like body. If I spend too much time working out for a long period of time, it gets weird.
Mhm.
I hate it when I have the wings, my arms I feel like it's dangling in the air. I try to get rid of the ring. I don't like it. It makes me feel like I am a gorilla after a while. So that's what I'm saying. When I pick bear paw, I will come from reckless way. I got a big ass hand. When I work out, my hand look weird too after a while. So
Yeah.
that's why I've been called three different names, either a bear or gorilla because they know I'm from Africa. I got used to that. Or Black Hulk. So it's
I feel like
variation,
I am the smallest guy on this network right now.
pretty much. And I'm over 200 pounds, 250. I'm over 250 pounds. And y'all saw me. Would I look like someone be over 250 pounds when you first saw me? Be
I know you were
honest.
big, but I didn't expect you to be, humongous either.
Yeah, but I didn't look like a huge person if I
No,
gave my weight.
no.
No.
And we're not too far off. I'm like 235. So I mean, you're and I'm 3
But you,
inches taller. So
but you, that's the thing. I carry the weight different. My muscle a little bit more condensed, and I read up about it, and I hate that part. People who have very condensed muscle end up being more heavier than normal people because of the type of workout I've done over the years. So I get that part. The only thing I'm concerned, I don't want to feel, I don't know. You know, how you see big bodybuilder, they don't walk normal. They walk like gorillas. To be honest, though, let's be
Some of
real.
them do, some of them don't. Not all of them. Like, I mean, when I met Jay Cutler and Kai Green, they walk normal. The guys we met at the competition, not competition, at the gym, I'm not showing they walk normal. But a few of them, yes, they were. They have to have their arms out because they can't wipe their own ass.
And that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm saying. I can't be a Groot. Groot are mostly small people. I'm not that small. And I know when I work out, then I start to hate myself because I'm trying to find what workout fit better to my taste. Sometimes you understand how your body reacts to certain workout. Your
You
body
also
come
get
either.
bored after the same workout after a while too. You know what I'm saying? You change it up.
No, I don't get bored. It's just that
I do.
I target certain muscle group that I need to work on. Any us among black guys, what we target the most? Our chest, our shoulders, our arms, and our abs.
Your upper body, pretty much.
Yeah, sometimes our leg, but it's mostly the upper body for a lot of reasons. I'm more precise because I want to condense and make it harder to where I'm not prone to injuries. So the workout I will implement is to make sure that in any scenario, injury doesn't incur. And that's not a lot of people's mindset. Some people want to, yeah, I want to flex. I don't care about flex. I just want to make sure I'm injury prone. I don't have to get injured no more. Any type of sport I do, I don't feel no pain. I don't get no injury. I recover quickly. I build a lot of endurance over time. That's the concept I have in my mind because I learned it from being in Africa. It's always survival mode, 24/7, 7 days a week, regardless what age group you're in. After a while, it's more so African strong mentality kicked in. That's the next level. You don't want to be weak.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some cases, depending on what classism you're in, you're used to carrying heavy items. I remember there's a video that show about it. They're having a struggle to carry four cement bag, and they huge muscle and they're struggling. Then the guy who's leaning at them lift with ease. I'm that kind of person who like to lift with ease compared to someone with big muscle can barely lift anything. I train myself to that degree so that if I had to carry heavy equipment, it'd be easy for me. It'd be a piece of cake. While everybody's struggling, I'm gonna look at you like, okay, let me take that off you. You're not cut out for this. You better no different from me. You could do the same exact thing. If he sees something, he lift up something might feel light to him. To my uncle, say, "Oh, this is heavy." You look at him like, "You sure this heavy?" But it feel light. That's because you're conditioning yourself. It may not kind of. I told you
Once
before.
you do the same thing over and over and over, you don't realize it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I told you in my high school, you to have a way to see how many bags of rice we can carry. 50 kg rice, bag of rice. When you're in high school, you're competing among your peers. I'm carrying two, different one carrying two. Are you went up and down the hill, unloading the truck? No more 50 kg rice feel like on your shoulder. Try to carry two bags
I
of
don't know
that
what
much
50K is, bro.
kilogram.
I know. I don't know kilogram versus in America weight
I know,
difference.
and
2.2
they're doing.
pounds per kilogram.
Okay.
So I'm carrying 100 on my shoulder as a high school student, running up and down the hill. That build endurance. So when you say African strong, we are addicted to doing things to our body that make our body strong over time.
I think that's normal human nature. I don't think that a culture thing.
Yeah, it's more cultural because for one, Know the saying, hard time makes strong people, easy time make weak people? Bingo. There's more hard time over there, easy time on this side of the road.
Hmm.
So
All right, guys,
when
let's
you
start getting into our final thoughts, so we can.
I'll make it quick. Final thought, I enjoyed this conversation. Shout out to Tiffany. You made it easier for me to give a better understanding, and I'm glad she gave her expert opinion about certain topic. I think this is the type of topic it's good to have. They have a touch on the post to understand the mindset of why people dress certain way or what their idea choice of clothes, because the gym clothes have changed over the decades. It has. Now it's more based on aerodynamic, based on fitness, based on comfortability, based on longevity, whereby you can enjoy the workout without feeling like you are suffocating your own clothes. I think that's the thing. Other than that, it was a great conversation. I enjoyed. That's it.
Yeah, just to admit, I 99% of the time I train at home. Only time I go to the gym is if one of my daughters, like I said, Tiffany, she may ask me to go to the gym with her, so I'll entertain it then. But I've just gotten so used to training at home that I don't see a lot of a lot of the trends unless I go back and see what's going on. Again, I don't see too many people who are dressing provocatively at the gym, and then the ones that are, we just kind of laugh. I was like, oh, well, she's just trying to get attention, and we still be about our business. So I think part of this is obviously, you need to have certain dress codes, respect the environment around you. But at the same time, if you're about your business, you need to be focused on what you're doing in the gym or at work or anywhere else. So there's only so much of this you can police. Those who, and I think I get just as frustrated at people who go to the gym and don't work hard. You know what I mean? If you're on the treadmill for like an hour plus or whatever, you're barely moving, you're not breaking a sweat. Or if you're on the rack and you're doing bicep curls and your form is crappy and whatnot, I think that probably annoys me a heck of a lot more than, or you're doing, the trainers having you do crazy exercises, doing squats on an exercise ball or medicine ball or something. I think those things annoy me more than what someone is wearing. And so, so I try to keep everything in perspective here. But obviously, they make clothing for consumers, women being the biggest consumers, and yes, they want to wear things where they look good, feel good, with the hope that what they wear is going to have a positive outcome when they're in the gym. When you're looking good and feeling good about yourself, the idea is that you'll have a better workout. But certainly the workout comes first before anything else. And so whether you want to wear long clothes or whatever, because of religious reasons or whatever, just train hard, train smart, and the rest people are going to say what they're going to say. Because even the woman that was getting, they were complaining about with the long dress on, she's probably still getting hit on guys too. Guys going to be guys. So there's only so much you can do about that. But again, good combo tonight, and yeah, look forward to the next one.
But that said, I do. First of all, I want to give credit to you and Tiff for coming on. She opened a lot of people's eyes, I believe, tonight. Maybe people who will be watching on the rerun, people are watching it live, or want to do the shorts. I think it is going to be an eye awakener. Hopefully, we can get her to join us a little more often. But by that said, we need to keep our eye, open minded when we go to the gym. First of all, you're there at work. Number one, even in an office building, you're there at work. It doesn't matter what your partner next to you in the cubicle or the girl next to you working out is wearing. Focus on yourself first. Don't focus on that situation. Then you can focus on, oh, I'm also here to meet people. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I met a bunch of people at the gym. Doesn't make me a creep. It makes me a social person, I believe. Paul, how many people have you met over the years at the gym? Give or take. Give me a rough number. Rough number. 1,000 at least?
No, probably 30, 40. Like I said, I've been working out at home the last 20 something years. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
can't about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I was talking to a bunch of CrossFit people, one thing all of them told me, most of them joined CrossFit to meet people. because they move to a new town or something. There's nothing wrong with that. I know most women like going to the classes so they can meet women in their own cliques. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think you have an open mind, and I think anything is possible. And it's like where a woman walks in with a really tight shirt, looks like a thong, so be it. That's her up to her. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, hopefully we're not going to see that in that kind of style anytime soon. But let's do a quick schedule update, guys. Tomorrow, Wally and David are talking about Zoids. I'm actually looking forward to that conversation because it's one of the old animes I actually grew up on too. And Paul, you want to talk about your show really fast?
Yeah, so on Thursday night, the Gent Code is going to be the topic. So for next gen training, the new Gent Code, manners for how to be a gentleman in 2025. So we're going to be talking about some of that.
I'm actually might pop my head in that one, to be honest with you. I'm curious what you guys are going to say on that because I'm very curious because I didn't think of that, to be honest with you. I always posted, I'm like, huh, they got a good one here going, these guys. And on Saturday on the Hangout, of course, there's gonna be Ghostbusters, but I am not hosting it. I'm taking the back seat for once. Angry Elf will be taking the reins on that. So join in, type in, and let's see how he does on his first odd person hangout host. Oh, no pressure at all. But if you fuck it up, I know where you live. That's all I'm gonna tell him. Oh, joking on the side. Except gray area, like always on Saturday. I'm assuming Sunday. I gotta check what we're doing on that. And next Tuesday, we're doing the purpose of life. That should be an interesting conversation, right, Paul?
We'll see.
And I drop little nuggets once in a while, like tonight. So accept that, guys. Any last words, Paul?
No, all good here. Good show.
Any last words, David?
We good. We're good.
All right, guys. As always, yeah, I'm get right. As always, this was Sports Institute Network. I am Ghost of Sparta. He is Black David. He is Paul. Stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.